It is shearing day, so we need to move Caspian back into the barn. So I've got a whole maze of electric fence set up to get him back over here so the shearer can shear them all in one place. Looking very woolly. You will feel much better when all the wool is off. They've actually been struggling on the days that it's getting up to like 80. They've been having a hard time in the heat. Well, hello. Doing big moves with Caspian is always very nerve-wracking to me. He's not an aggressive male, really. Like, he bumped my leg one time, really. Not even a big deal. But you always have to be careful, especially with an animal that can really easily overpower you. So this is what I have set up. So I've got my electric net fence set up into kind of a tunnel system. I'm like a tiny little bit short right there, so I'm hoping he will go into that door, get his food, and I can jump in there and close the door without any issues. So we've got the tunnel. So he, in theory, will just walk down here very nicely, go find his food, and close him into the barn. So they're all in there to get sheared. You ready, sir? We're gonna make this smooth and seamless, and then you'll feel much better. I'm gonna carry a stick with me just in case. While I am untying this, I'm gonna put you in my pocket, and then hopefully everything will go smoothly. It's gonna take its time. I'm gonna grab his food bowl. Maybe that will give him a little bit of motivation to mosey on down. It's good stuff to eat. He is taking his time. Oh, here he comes. Got to make all the samples along the way. That's it, bud. Go on, your food's in there. Your food's in there. There it goes. No, don't go that way. There we go. Come on, bud. Look, your food's in there. Go get it. Perfect and schmog. He's in. Easy peasy. It's amazing what you can get animals to do for food. So while the sheep are closed up, we have about 2 hours until the shearer is going to get here. So I'm going to go ahead and set up Caspian's fence in a new spot so he has fresh grass when he gets done. And he can start back in the rotation in the yard. What's up, guys? Long time no see. Before the shearer gets here, I get all of the sheep stalled up so that he can really easily pull in right up to the barn, get all of his stuff set up, and we're not having to worry about anybody escaping and getting out and not being able to get them sheared. Once they're sheared, I'll let them out into their fenced area, close the fence up, and then we'll move on to the next sheep. Feel better, Miss Margot? You always look so tiny after you guys get sheared. With your big old heads. Your tiny little bodies. Feel better? Now it's not so hot. After they get sheared, I'm always like, oh my goodness, they're so thin. It takes a little bit of adjusting to get used to their smaller size. Go eat, sir. Now we have got 4 bags of wool, and I can indulge my yarn and spinning obsession that I've been having lately. And I'm gonna do this whole process from raw wool to yarn. So I'm really excited, but it's not gonna be one of those things that gets done very quickly. It's gonna be one of those when I have downtime, when there's nothing really going on, few and far between. I need to get Mr. Caspian moved, but it is thunderstorming out right now. So I thought I'll show you what I'm working on. Crochet. I do knit also, but it just depends on what I'm making, what the pattern calls for and what I'm looking for. And I find it easier when I'm doing a project around little kids to do something with crochet, because if stuff gets pulled out, it's not as difficult for me to fix it, or it's just easier. So I am working on making like a shawl or sweater type thing, and I wanted it to be lacy. So I found this stitch. It's called a crown stitch, and I have tons of this thread weight yarn. A couple years ago, it's probably been actually, my son was 3, so it's been 7 years, 8 years, somewhere around there. This a lady gave me 3 or 4 garbage bags full of yarn that she was cleaning out her attic and just getting rid of a bunch of stuff, and she had a ton of this thread weight yarn in there. I've used these to make doilies and make other things. But I love wearing like cardigans or sweaters like in the winter time, and so I just wanted to make a new one. And then after I'm done, I want to dye it, which I've never dyed anything ever. So, but I want to be able to dye the yarns that I'm making too. But since this is white, I just wanted to make the project and then dye it afterwards, after it's completed, versus like trying to judge how much of the yarn I need to dye to make the project. So I might be doing it wrong. I've never dyed anything before, so, but it's fun to do. I first learned how to crochet. I started learning, well, I started actually with cross stitch when I was pretty young. My mom taught me how to cross stitch, and I really enjoyed that for a long time. And then I learned how to crochet, and then I learned how to knit. And the first time I knit, I was, I think, in like 8th grade, and I didn't have knitting needles, and I don't remember why, but I didn't go buy knitting needles. I used 2 pencils, and I knit a scarf on 2 pencils. That was the first time I knit, when I was first learning how to do it. And I had a friend, I think it was like just not too long before that, maybe like 7th grade, that a friend had taught me how to crochet. And I think when I was maybe 5, we had a babysitter that attempted to teach me how to knit and crochet and play the piano, but my little 5-year-old self could not sit still long enough to actually do it. But it's something I really enjoy doing, especially like I don't sit still very well, and so I like to do this while I'm watching TV. Not that I ever hardly watch TV, but it's just something I really enjoy. I also like to use doing a project as like a reward. So like I'll be, if I get this done, then I can do a row. If I complete this task, then I get to do a row. And I use it kind of like as a reward system for getting stuff done. Right now I am just waiting. My pizza dough has about 20 minutes left on it, so I was like, I'm gonna go sit on the porch in the rain and crochet for 20 minutes until the pizza dough is ready. It's a nice little treat. All right, I'm gonna show you one last thing that I'm working on with my wool. This actually is not from my sheep. So this is some roving that I got. I think I was at the farmer's market in Greenville. It was back when my first child was a baby and I was just starting to learn how to do drop spindle. There was a vendor down there that had wool balls for sale, and she had a bowl of this roving, and I walked up to her and just asked if she had any roving for sale, and she said nope, and went over and tore off a piece of the roving, but you can have this, and gave it to me. And I was so excited. I wish I could remember who the vendor was to give them a shout out, because that was a very kind thing for them to do. And I was really excited. So as you can see, I haven't made too much progress over a couple years, because when I had my second child, I put all my crafts back away, and I really haven't gotten them out for a very long time. And I am not an expert at spinning by any means. I've been told they call it a drop spindle because you drop it a lot. And indeed I do. I try to get the thread too thin, and then I end up dropping it. But I don't know, I feel like I've gotten better at it. But I do still struggle, like how I'm gonna have to connect this roving at the end here to another piece. I do still have a hard time like connecting it to the next piece. But so this is a drop spindle. They're pretty cheap. I got these on Etsy. I have 2 drop spindles. I have noticed I've started doing some spinning with my sheep's wool. I processed one of the wools, washed it up, and have started carding it and spinning it, and I have noticed it is quite a bit coarser than this roving. This is very soft and smooth compared to my sheep's wool. So that is all the things I'm doing with wool right now, and hopefully I will get to show you some finished projects in a while maybe, and you can show me yours. I'd love to see if you're working on projects. Do you do crafts? I feel like a lot of us that are in this realm do a lot of different things and do sewing and baking and crafts and all kinds of things. It's a fun rabbit hole to get into. So I'm gonna keep working on this and take a little break from my computer work, and I will see you next time. Thanks for hanging out today. It's been great. See you later. Bye.